I'm not going to lie. At the beginning of this game, I really thought we were going to have our way with these guys because of how we come out of the block and playing. And I want you to understand that the the line of scrimmage is so important in a ball game. And I'll say it to the day I die. It's better than the skill players that everybody wants at running back and wide receiver and tight end. If you don't have the line of scrimmage to take care of their front four, front five, you're going to have a bad night. And honestly, after watching this, because I didn't get to watch the second half of it because I had to deal with a personal issue at home with my daughter. Watching it in real time, listening to all the comments through Twitter, I don't think it's Carson Beck's fault. I think it's our front, both on the defensive side and on the offensive side. We have got to make changes that alter the quarterback. They did it to us defensively, and we didn't do it to Jaxon Dart enough defensively. After that first series, we completely role reversed. But this is a duo play from offense, and what you're going to get out of this off the motion, instead of just running zone right, what they do is they duo this. So you're going to get a double team right here. You're going to get a double team right here. The outside guy should take care of the outside guy. Outside guy should take care of the outside guy, and Lucky's got him. And what they're going to do is you basically squeeze your linebackers down inside to make them cut. And once you hit it, you should be able to bounce off of this. So this is just duo. Instead of zone, because you can tell by the way the back comes to get the ball. Now, they should be posting off of the double teams and climbing to those backers now, which both of them are very well. We'll see what we get here off this cut. Ernest Green didn't come off his guy well enough, but we still get a big play on this first play after sudden change. I can't tell you what happened to us, but midway through the game, we obviously forgot how to step out and attack the football. In this series, the first series that we score on, we had to go all the way to 4th and goal to score. Our offensive line is stepping across the line of scrimmage and attacking on their side, moving the line of scrimmage. In this case, Jared Wilson gets blown up. They're going to run an ice technique on the front here, which means they're running the defensive linemen are trying to scoot gap across opposite to where the running back's coming to. So instead of them firing this gap, they're firing oppo. So they're going to go underneath it and try to curl. And it's just a way to screw up zone technique blocking. But, Jared Wilson this guy comes across his face, and Jared has to take him on really getting run over slowly. But it's still, by him getting run over slowly, he occupies a gap. And because of Tate Ratledge coming across and taking his guy, now ETN has a backside cut off of that zone and gets up in there for a couple of yards. This is hard to do in real time, but this is on Jared and Tate Ratledge right here. ETN does a good job of getting up inside and getting north and south off of this, which I thought was really good. But I want to show you off this step. See, what happens here is Tate ends up going to chase the guy above him. And I wouldn't chase. You've got to step to the nearest gap. So Tate should be taking him. Jared should be posting and picking him up. But what happens, Tate pushes to him. That leaves Jared with a guy. He shouldn't be going that way. He should be over here filling, which means that's going to be the guy he takes is over the top of this hat I've got that's not got anything on it. And Tate should be actually taking this guy right here. And if you have that sealed off, I know that's a lot of scribble right there, but if you have that sealed off correctly by Tate taking him, Jared climbing over the top of him, look at the hole now, ETN, which he still has because he's able to make a cut off of this, and it ends up being one-on-one here with the safety. But, you get linebackers that come off the play, but still a good zone run again after the sudden change. We're running out of green personnel here. And what I mean by green personnel is you basically are in 21 personnel, but instead of the tight end on the line of scrimmage, you are off the line of scrimmage. So I would call this green Ricky. And all I mean by that is Ricky means that you just have an attached tight end to the tackle instead of him being on the line of scrimmage. If it was just green, then that would be pro, where you have the tight end on to the right side. The second letter in green is an R. So green would be to the right. F back is to the right to the call. If it was blue, it would be the other way, which L in blue obviously means to the left. So you got a Z that's on the line of scrimmage to this side over here because our Y is off. We had that happen twice to us where we're in typical illegal procedure issues because we don't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. And the guys that do that twice, I believe, is Arian Smith, who's a fifth-year senior who knows he needs to be on the line of scrimmage to help us in that regard. On the other side over here, we should be on automatically, the X away, but the Z has to be on when your Y is off. And this is just, I just call this green Ricky because Ricky lets me know that I have a tight end that's off the line of scrimmage connected like a slot. What they're going to do is they're going to influence off of this. They're going to run Cash Jones like this is stretched to try to widen everybody, but everybody is blocking down. They're working here, and what you're going to get is the guard for the kick out. You're going to get the H for the wrap, and this is something that I'm sure he's going to just step hinge and make sure nothing gets through this gap, and it should be gone. But the thing is that ETN, I know he is a better back than this. He has got to learn to follow behind what is run here. You can't bounce this. Cash does it later in the game too, where he bounces the gap scheme, and you can't bounce power. And if you do, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be shafted. All right. So in this case, I think because they're running it out of two back is to try to influence. He's still just going to go block high up. Guard's going to kick out. But I want you to watch where ETN should step. Now, as this play develops, I think you can understand where it should go. All right. Now, he's missed a block. We got a guy filling in the hole right here. But when you widen, you screw yourself here. All right. He should be fitting right up underneath Urosic's block, and because this guy's coming off, he's probably going to having to make a cut, and he's going to end up running into this guy right here. But that gets you north and south. That's a difference of 1, 2, maybe 3 yards versus him bouncing it outside and it being dead. When you bounce it outside, power's dead. In this case scenario, they lap him up for about a yard gain. This is a very unique play design, a little tricky, honestly, out of this, but we're going to run basically double lead power. We could call it counter tray, call it whatever you want to. You got one kick out with 2 skip pull guys. So we're going to get this like quick motion here, but you're going to end up still getting the guard to kick out. You're going to get Urosic should be skip pulling to come around, and Delp is also coming around, and that gives time for all 3 of them to go by this motion we're getting here to come back downhill. But the problem is, I think he screws up because anytime you've got kick out coming from the opposite side, he should be getting down inside. So what you should have is you should have a double team here working to this backside guy. Truss should be stepping inside just to make sure nobody clears. He's going to step inside to make sure nobody clears. He just becomes like the tight end on the backside to this. And because he stays where he's at, he ends up blocking the guy that Tate should be kicking out. And unfortunately, Jared Wilson gets beat too off this play, which I don't understand off the double team. He ends up getting pushed. So by Ernest Green staying on his guy, not going inside, you should basically have enough to take care of everybody here. So the kick out guys got him. The first skip pull guys got to him. And then the next skip pull, if the gap is right, typically is going to be looking inside for flow over the top that's going to be coming this way. But with Ernest Green staying put, now Tate doesn't have anybody to go kick out. And now he's ended up hitting Ernest Green in the back. So we don't have the extra defender over the top to get to this backer right here. Jared is getting beat. Delp is getting there just a tad bit late. But you can see here where it should go. If everything fits right, if we stay on this guy correctly, we have the hole sitting right here. Even though Ernest Green's blocked it wrong, Jared Wilson is getting off, getting beat. But I'm going to tell you this, you can't bounce power. I would rather him go down inside and make him miss and get up north and south right here and try your best just to take on this linebacker one-on-one instead of bouncing this. This is rule 101 for power, counter tray, buck sweep is you can't bounce it. 9 times out of 10, 99.9% of the time it's dead. And when he did that, he didn't follow up in that wash right there and just get north and south on the play. He goes wide and it's dead. I'm talking dead. Dead as the end of a Western cowboy dead. Okay. I really wish I could understand right here whether we're duo blocking this or zone blocking this. And the reason why I say that is because everybody steps basically in the sense of zone block, and we're getting this right here. If this was duo, we should be getting a double team right here and a double team right here with him ISOing him ISOing him. He's probably going to step down inside to help that. And then the posts are going to climb to the next 2 backers off of this. But what I see because of the way they step here is everybody's stepping zone right because you're going to get the open up to the right side. And guess what? We're under center right here, which I'm really digging as well because that means we're going to get a north and south back getting the football. But because Tate doesn't step to double team right here, he's just zone right out of this and stepping up to this play side backer. He's stepping. I see zone right here. Okay. But yet I see Truss staying on this inside shelf. He's not stepping out to take this. And if he crosses face, Tate takes. Or if he steps out, Urosic can help there with Truss. But because he steps down inside like it's duo to take care of this ISO on this backside, he now makes this hole smaller for Tate to take good steps up to this play side linebacker right here. I think you've got another bust from your offensive line, one blocking or a couple blocking duo versus blocking zone. So because of that, now we're catching, and Truss looks like he's trying to give this guy a hug. I can't believe they actually didn't call a hold right here. And now this is just ETN being a good athlete right here, making people miss off the cutback and gets up in there for a good run. Now, the problem I have out of this situation is we get an illegal procedure call. Okay. We have a guy that's off the line of scrimmage over here on this side, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that guy is. I want to say it was Arian Smith. Anytime you've got double slot, I'd always call it whatever who we were playing that week. So if we lined up in double slot, your outside guy, your X to the left would be on the line of scrimmage. Your outside Z would be on the line of scrimmage because you have two slots that are disconnected off the line of scrimmage by your tackles. I always called slots off tackles, wings off tight ends. All right, with a single back set under center. Love this formation because you can throw out of this, you can run play action out of this, you can run out of this. There's so many different things you can do out of this. I think later in the game, Lucky's over here where Jurasic's at, and they end up trying to run the wheel route from the backside, and ends up getting sacked or gets pressure off the edge. One of the many havoc plays that they have on Beck. But here you are dealing with a fifth-year senior who is not up on the line of scrimmage right here. He should know. We called it, like this week, I would have called it rebel. All right. So just be rebel. Z to the right, X to the left. You got tight end, you got H. So you've got Y and H in the game. They're slots. They're off the line of scrimmage. Z and X should be on. Right now, the X is on. The Z is not. I said this before they even ran the play that we didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage because I saw the guy up. I said, double slot, no tight. We got to have a guy on. We got to have a guy on. Sure enough, we ran the play, and the minute he took off, he threw the flag. We can't have this, guys. This is a big play. Even though we didn't block it right up front, ETN makes the guy miss, but we got a flag over here. Yes, it is. It's Arian Smith, not on the line of scrimmage. I know a lot of you are wondering why you're seeing the F-back go in motion and come back in like we saw on the play earlier from Cash Jones where he got destroyed because they ran that ice run blitz. But we're doing that to see if they're in man versus zone is all we're doing. In this case right here, we basically run flare. They end up getting the ball on this outlet because what you're doing is you're putting pressure on your whole player out here to see what he does. I would love for us to be just watching this on a hot right here and actually throwing it right past the secondary level and actually hitting here. But he's got to end up making a cut because he ends up being open off that second level. What we end up doing later in the game because he gets flushed and pushed up in the pocket is Carson Beck ends up making a great throw to, believe it is either Dominic or Dylan Bell on that dig route later in the game in the second half. But because it's dead right out of the gate, he decides to go, this is just your option route, what I call just your bailout off of what I call flare. Flare and flame is where you send a guy out as a safety valve. See how he's coming open in this little area? It would be nice just to be able to throw it on a laser beam right there to him. But see, he's still ready to make this cut, and he's already thrown it. These guys are running the double dig behind it, and this is, from a zone standpoint, you've got these guys that are gap hinging to take on the inside cuts right here. That's why you see this guy on the inside working him. I mean, that's what I would do against our offense. We want to run the ball over the middle so much with our pass schemes that it's just becoming easy to, pick that up and be able to, more or less set up a wall for that. Lucky ends up getting a holding call. I believe it may be even on this series right here, but because of where he's at, he's already made the read that Arian's dead, so he throws the check. This ends up getting knocked down 2 or 3 times as time goes on. I'm sure the defensive end coach worked with him on that. But in this case, this is the correct throw. Get it outside and let your guy get a little extra yardage there. Play we desperately need to convert right here. We end up sending Cash out on the flare to try to just pull them to think we're going to the left. I put the wrong thing out there, my bad. Going out here to the left, and what we're going to end up getting is whoever's up front ends up coming across on the dig. You're running it to the short side. I don't know why Jurasic is running out, maybe running some type of whip and coming across as well. Dylan Bell's running off and looks like he gets held off the cut right here. I don't know why that didn't get called. He may have fell over his own feet for all I know. But realistically, it's 3rd and 4. I mean, this is the play you want to get to, but also, too, whoever's coming across first on this drag should be a little bit deeper than the 4 yards that you need. But I'm going to tell you what, Monroe Freeland, just like Ernest Green, his kick slides really slow, and this guy only has one rush. It's a speed rush off the edge, and Monroe's very lucky to get hands on just enough to run him upfield. Carson does a good job of stepping up into the pocket, which is something I want him to do, and then he runs out and ends up trying to make the throw right here, but he ends up getting Humphreys killed because he can't stay in the pocket long enough to just make a registered throw. He should have thrown it about the time you see London put his hands up as he gets stepped up in the pocket. See, like right now is when he should be making the throw. They look like they were in man to this side, but I can't tell what in the world. The high safety's playing low down zone. The corner ran the guy off in man. So I don't know if this is a match or what they've got here in this, but still, he's the one that ends up killing London on this play. But he should be throwing it about there where the referee's at so he can catch it and get north and south, and he's coming in to make the tackle instead of it being, happening so late here and getting Humphreys killed. But still, not enough for the. I think he had just enough for it. I don't know why we don't do this more often. This is play action concepts that I would love to be able to see, where we end up getting the jet motion coming across, we get the split action coming back down inside, and all that does is hold up linebackers. And if our pass pro works a good across the front, which we do right here, Lawson comes open and gets lost in the garbage here, and it's just a good throw and catch. I wish Carson would put it more on his front shoulder, but at least throwing him the football right here, we needed this play. This was huge. But I just want you to watch how the play action basically stalls the linebackers. You can see after all the fakes, look where they're at. Now he's like, oh shit, I got to get back. It's too late now. Good throw and catch right there. You can't fault Nate Frazier's ass. He is playing hard football right now, guys. He runs the ball hard. Yeah, does he make freshman bonehead mistakes? But I'm going to tell you right now, he's a talent that I definitely want to see with the football. The fact that we've got two guys that are down in Branson and Roderick. We've got a beat up ETN. Just don't really know his full status. And, you got a freshman who was playing high school football last year as our primary running back now. But we're going to run our pin and pull here, so we do a good job. I want you to watch how everything off the motion sets up. When you get this guy coming down, he's going to take first thing outside. Monroe Freeland's going to take the first thing inside. And I just like the execution here. You're going to see a hat on hat, and you get what you want out of this right here. So you get the pin and pull. You're going to get Arian blocking down. Okay, no, that's actually Lucky. My bad. And now you're going to have Delp going out, and you're going to have Monroe coming in. So he's looking inside, Delp's looking outside, and you see hat for hat, boom, boom. And then he sticks it up in there. Nate ain't scared for contact. I love it. I know this can be achieved because I watch it happen all the time. And this is obviously what they had designed here. He's setting out. So what he's doing is basically becoming like an outside linebacker play side. They've obviously watched it on film because you can watch Monroe kind of, okay, he's not coming, so I'm going to help with him cross his face. But we're running zone left right here. So theoretically, he should be taking him. He should be taking him. But because he drifts, Monroe sits and ends up taking on the double team that gets hit right here. Jared Wilson climbs. They work on their post here up to the next play side backer, and everything stays pretty much fit. The only problem is you end up getting that one guy that sets off that ends up coming back inside to make the play. You're going to see off of this, everything's good. This is the guy that ends up coming back across. If the guard steps up, though, and takes that on a little bit better, all right, we have a little bit of a better play. But this is just a good job of recognizing Tate coming over the top, Truss climbing to the backside backer, and making a good cut right here. That's great vision by 3 and sticking it up in there for a nice gain, probably close to a first down. This is the difference of the inches of the game that drive me nuts here, because we're running slide boot action protection off this pass pro. But basically what you're going to get here is this concept. What it should be is slide protection, because the guard is looking like he's going to kick out off of this action coming downhill. What you're going to have is everybody's going to be slide protecting back to the left-hand side off of this, because typically the tight end would be releasing off of this. Let's see if he actually does, or if they're going to max protect with him as well. Is he releasing? Yeah, that's why he's releasing. When you got a tight end and a pro, I was about to say he probably should be releasing off of this. So that's what happens is the back ends up having a feel for the tight end leads from. So you're sliding, he's pulling to take care of where those two guys, the guard pulling and the F-back coming off, take care of where the tight end leaves from. And Monroe, for that split second, has to just make sure that Jared gets there. And once he does, now he's going to back up, and where he should come is with this guy. Now, what's so funny is he delays to start with. Like, he's not there. So Monroe really works invest with Jared's guy that comes across a little bit too long. And what ends up happening is, because he gets complacent thinking that he's not coming, he's sitting there posting up Jared. Everything looks great. And then all of a sudden that guy tries to come, and now he's screwed. Tate is getting pressured in this situation to the outside. And what probably needs to happen now is Carson needs to step up into this pocket so he can have more strength behind this throw. But because he can't see this guy coming, this is a lookout. Look out, here it comes. So, he's getting hit as he throws and just not able to put everything he wants into this throw to the backside dig coming across. I want to show you here just pass pro. And, we talk about how the fact that Ernest Green got beat a lot off the edge, 3 or 4 times specifically. Monroe Freeland got beat a couple of times. It didn't really cost, but still looked very poor off the speed rush. But sometimes your backside guard and tackle to the call here is going to be hurting you as well. In this case, this is just Tate with a busted leg, man. He's playing with one leg because you're going to end up getting, oh my God, drag, dig, dig. I mean, I'm just tired of seeing that, man. You get him out on the arrow route, you're going to get the deep push to pull everybody to try to hit somebody underneath. So right here, we've made a Louis call. Louis means that we're working to the left. Fairchild sees his next guy up here, so he's going to work to post with your center and then take on anything that shows late if it has to. Monroe Freeland is going to step out and take care of him, which means now Tate Ratledge is on an island with him. Xavier Truss is on an island with him. And check the back would have this guy right here. But since he's at this depth, he's going to make sure that if he's going to be going instead of sitting inside and waiting, that's Carson Beck's guy right there. If he knows he's gone immediately with no check with me. Okay, or check, excuse me. But if he checks first, that's the running back's guy. If it's not, he's gone on the arrow route immediately. Let's see if he's gone immediately off of this. Yeah, he's gone. So he knows he's in man with that. So he's free. So the quarterback helps know he's got things that could come open. But what I want you to notice is that Tate gets beat on this. This is where the sack comes from. But I'm going to pause it about right here. I wish they would have figured out that bubble was on the sky cam because you can't see it because that little blur spot. But here's a receiver, here's a receiver, here's a receiver, all running. You got the drag, you've got a dig, you got double digs being followed, the go, and then the arrow route. Everything. There's not one swinging pecker that's open right now. Not one guy. So even if Tate doesn't screw up his pass pro right there, he has nowhere to throw the football because we haven't got a guy that can get off a freaking coverage right here. Blows me away, man. This is really hard to swallow, man, because these are just basic things that we should be doing correctly that we still don't. Not only was Ernest Green screwing up pass pro, he screws up this power scheme that we run right here as well. So we're going to get guard and tight end, I believe, to pull right here. Let's see if depth comes back. So no. So we're going to get basically the tight end pulling from the H spot. So we're going to influence and step out. So what should happen right here is Dylan should be stepping up to post him, and he should be right in his hip, digging it out, and they should be driving him this way. To me, when you run power, counter tray, buck sweep, the point of attack for the down block, play side, is most crucial because if he gets penetration, he screws up the entire play. All right. Now, because Ernest doesn't get across, he actually ends up missing him on the top side of this. This 5 technique, excuse me, it's not a 5 technique. This 3 technique is what screws up the play. There is nobody outside of Ernest Green. So Trust, when he pulls, has nobody to kick out. Okay. So Delp stepped out. Now, Trust hasn't run enough guard here. So this is what he should be thinking. The minute you see nobody to kick out, you should be wrapping up inside to take care of what you see first inside. And then he should be coming across and taking care of what he sees outside. He should be trying to seal him here. But the problem is the guy that I've got the check mark on. See how Ernest Green's hat's on top of him instead of his hat should be right there with that, whatever number that is, 5-1 it looks like, whatever number that kid is right there with the check mark. That's where his hat should be. And y'all see where his damn hat's at? It's on the top of it. So not only does he screw up pass pro, he's screwing up our gap scheme concepts. And there's nowhere for anybody to go when you get penetration. Watch what it does to Urosic. Now he's through. Urosic can't get around, and he ends up getting knocked down, and that screws up your running back. Anytime you bubble a power scheme by getting penetration in the backfield, that screws up power, screws up counter tray, screws up buck sweep, it screws up trap, it screws up everything that you want to do in gap scheme. And because he gets that penetration, that's not Urosic's fault. A lot of people look at that and say, well, he didn't get the block. No, it's not his job to get that guy. Urosic should be climbing up to get to this guy. Trust has now bypassed this. He should be blocking his ass. Urosic should be blocking his ass. And Ernest Green should have blocked that 3 technique that's blowing it up in the hole for Frazier not to be able to get off of that. And now you've got complete gap scheme screwed up and being tackled in the backfield. Because he's an athlete, he makes it into a play. I mean, why do people have to steal my thunder, man? I did a whole segment on this last week where Georgia ran about 7 to 8 plays under center. And I would said how many things you could run off this action right here. And this is, again, you've got Arian Smith, who's already had one key illegal procedure call. He is lined up. This is your Y on the line of scrimmage right here, which means your Z should be off the line of scrimmage to the pro side. All you got on this side is basically Deuce's right Ricky. So you got a receiver that is right here. There's another receiver off the line of scrimmage right here. And when we get this motion that comes across. This has nothing to do with, like, if the tight end was over here, we used to run out of pro a tight end trade, and the tight end, you knew when you were on the side of the tight end, you were off. When the tight end came to your side, you called yourself off. The other guy got on. You had time to do that before the ball is snapped. That's football 101. We're already set up to where it shouldn't even have to be any motion causing people, Z and X receivers, to get up on the line of scrimmage or get off the line of scrimmage. It should be basically with him coming across and lining up. He is already on the line of scrimmage, so that makes him should be off the line of scrimmage. And I be damn if we run this across and we look like we're running tall sweep where we reverse out and we boot. We run the boot out from underneath center, and we've got to play because he's on the drag. He's on the comeback. And then he's on the backside dig coming across. I love it. And then he seals and takes care of the edge. Lawson does where the tight end leaves from. And it's a beautifully designed play. Watch everybody off of this. But because we have a fifth-year senior doing just, I mean, everybody thinks we're running tall sweep here. The only guy backside does a good job of sitting. And this is something he's got to learn to get more depth off his actual fake pitch. If he turns and really exaggerates that fake pitch out, that gets him almost back to roughly where the 20-yard line is. He's a little shallow, but he gets depth on his turnaround. Look at that. Look at that separation between the guy that he's reading. Now he's got this guy coming across on the drag. Arian should be coming across. There's your comeback right there. And he ends up throwing the comeback. And we've got to play. We got to catch and a completion, but we got a fifth-year senior that lined up on the line of scrimmage and caused their tight end to be ineligible, and that really pisses me off. Just, man, scratch my head. Now, we've run this play once before, and we did it out of a different formation. So Lucky was the one that was actually in instead of running the route. We have got to get Seven the ball more. We've got to include him because he is a mismatch in space. He has not brought Bowers. It's plain and simple. He's not brought Bowers, but he is a solid athlete that mismatches with linebackers. So what we're going to show here off the motion coming across is we're going to look like we're running the flare. They become the outlet guys. And what you're going to get off of this is you're going to get the, it's not really a shallow. I would call it more of a mesh coming across. You're going to get the dig coming across. And then your guys that are out there on your flare are your safety outlet if this doesn't come open. And we look like we're running the toss sweep action out of this as the play action instead of it just being straight drop back. So we're going to get the guy coming across. We're going to get the fake toss, which pulls everybody, which is great. So now this creates Lawson Lucky coming across. You end up going to get a drag behind that. But Lucky's already got his guy beat. Great throw and catch, getting upfield, and very positive play for us. I see the difference, and it just really makes me, understand why I think we're seeing such difficult times with our offense at this point in juncture. And it's because Carson Beck is no threat to run the football. And it goes to show here, even though he completes this pass to Cash Jones on this play right here, he has got no threat off of this action as the ball is snapped. I'm not even going to draw on this one right here. It's pretty simple. They're in a cover one. So that means you got one free safety in the middle of the field. He's moving there now. Everybody else is in man. And we're doing a great job of manhandling their three-man rush. We should be taking care of a three-man rush with them in man cover one. Okay. So that means they've got extra zone guys to take care. That's the reason why it looks like everybody's covered up. And honestly, Carson Beck threw it to the guy he needed to throw to, and it was a great throw and catch. Cash just, really did a good job of hauling this in. But I want you to look at all this space right here for your quarterback. Now, I know there's one guy in zone who sees Carson, who knows where he's wanting to go with this, and we're playing behind the chains, it looks like. No, we're not. We're not playing behind the chains. It's just 1st and 10. But still, this is where Stetson would have taken off running if he didn't want to throw to Cash Jones right here. But, Carson obviously does. But I think that's one of the things that we don't see is that Stetson he helped us because when he got in these situations right here, he would take off running and he would get the first down with his legs and make that guy miss up here in space. And of course, we complete the pass. But, I think that's one of the frustrating factors that we're not taking into account is that Stetson really was a +1 for us at times, and he would extend plays with his legs that helped us in a lot of situations where in this case, we know Carson Beck is not going to throw the football. So, again, he's not going to run with the football, excuse me. So, again, a good throw and catch to Cash Jones there, though, on the man-to-man off the linebacker. This play really confuses me when I know he's wanting to stay in field goal range here. Still early in the ball game in the third quarter. You get basically another field goal here. You're within a touchdown reach. But give our guys a chance to get in the zone, man. He brings Cash over to this side to basically set up the angle route, which is a good concept when you got the linebacker out to be able to put a move on it. But because of how deep they go, because we basically get quarters here by the defense, where they're just sitting in quarters right here, let Lucky clear and get him to the back of the end zone right here, because he is one that if you have time, which you did, I really don't know why you decided to throw so quick, because you've got no pressure on you. And it really doesn't make sense to me that you threw it as fast as you did here to Cash. But give Lawson Lucky some time, man. He's got some time right here that you got a touchdown with him probably. Bringing him across to the other side, though, here to run the angle route, which has been successful for you. You did it against Texas, but the way they dropped, I see why you're thinking he's beat here, but they're looking at where you're wanting to go here. If you let this develop and throw it right here where the referee's at and let Lucky clear, there's nobody there for that. He's going to end up becoming wide open in the back of the end zone right here. But because you're so ready to throw now, it's safe, and we end up getting 3 points out of this. But still, it's 3rd and goal. I'm trying to get the ball in the zone, man. I've said it 100 times. We're underneath center. I have yet to see but one non-positive play. Unfortunately, we had the illegal procedure because somebody was covered up on the toss sweep boot that we didn't do. But here we get toss sweep off the motion, and he's downhill now. Full speed. So even though this guy's getting off the block, his hat's on play side, he's getting out. He's one-on-one here. You're still getting a back down here that's going to stretch that arm tackle and get upfield north and south. You can't beat that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. They did something else that I wanted them to do right here as well. So basically what you're going to get out of this situation is you're going to get the zone action, which should help pull. And I've got that a little too small to take that on. Okay. So they finally do something else out of gun that I like, which is get Carson Beck out of the pocket and move the pocket off of this. So off the fake zone action, you're going to bring it on levels, and Arian's going to be on the vert. He's the last rep in this. He's basically number 4 in the progression. We're going to get the wheel follow behind it. We're going to get him coming across, getting lost in space to be the flat guy defender. And then you got the dig coming across that could end up being, or I say a drag is really what it should be off the old counter boot concept. So realistically, he's number 1. The guy over here should be number 2. Lucky is going to be number 3, and Arian is number 4. But I'm going to tell you, we're trying to get the ball to Jurasic on the flat coming across. Excuse me, had a little too much hops there. But still, though, with that being said, he's going to go to Jurasic immediately. But what I would love to do off this boot action is for him to put his foot in the ground now and turn and throw that vert right there. Oh my God. He's even with this guy. There's nobody behind him right there. All he's got to do is let that ball float right towards that SEC logo and let Arian Smith run underneath it. But he ends up throwing the flat route. This guy's actually looks like he's coming after Carson and is able to redirect, but because this guy's in front, he has to float it over the top of his head, and this guy ends up getting back to Jurasic and making the tackle. But still, positive game, rolling the pocket, getting in and outside of the pocket is something I'd like to see more of. Don't tell me that it can't be done, because I sit here and watch it happen on this play right here, and this is what we're used to seeing and what we should be seeing more of. Okay. Roger call, which means we're centers working to the right with his guard and tackle. So we're getting here since tackle's got nobody there. Guard's got nobody there. Trusted guard. Monroe's out here on an island with him. They're going to be working to him. That means we've got this, and Cash has got his eyes here. If Cash is gone, then that guy that's left is on the quarterback here. So it's taken care of in all spots. And I want you to notice off of this the entire time as it's being blocked, pass pro's good, everything's set up. We've got it washed. Dylan is probably the only one that allows a little bit of stress here. It's dead where he wants to go immediately off the follow right here. He didn't want to throw that. So his eyes get back downfield immediately. Now he's looking to the backside here. And watch his footwork move to the left and get up in the pocket. And watch this throw. Now, granted, footwork should be a little bit closer together here. He's a little stretching it, so you worry about him selling it. He throws this sidearm. Guys, he lets that ball go right here. This is where he's throwing to. And he throws it to Dylan Bell coming across in a mailbox. This is Dominic Lovett, excuse me, not Dylan Bell, in a mailbox. So I want you to watch this whole progression again. You can't tell me we can't pick up a blitz or can't pick up X, cross stunts, anything we got here with a 4-man pressure, taking care of it with 5. They're dropping 7, using good footwork, stepping up in the pocket, and delivering a good football across the middle of the field. You want to watch something that's frustrating as piss? This simple play right here, this base zone play. They could have gone to the house. Trevor Etienne could have hit his head on the goalpost. I shake my head, and I understand. Tate Rowledge, I hope and pray he's not hurt again, because Mike Bobo, pretty much the entire fourth quarter. Sorry about got a little air in the old belly from too many hops. But anyhow, I don't know why he's at guard. I don't know if they're just trying to rest Tate because they understand where they're at right now in the situation. But Mike Bobo's son, Drew's in the game, and a lot of people think that this is his bust, and it's really not. It's Jared Wilson's fault. As you see this play develop, we're running zone. So he's coming back in to basically run what's called split zone. So what we should be doing is taking care of the edge defender that you would normally read out of this. So we should be stepping here. We should be stepping all the way across. We should be stepping play side into this gap. So if he does cross his face like he does right here, then Jared should be able to take that on. So they're working oppo to where the back's coming to. And then, of course, at the last second, Truss does his job and steps out on this guy who comes down inside. He's coming across on the split. But what I want you to pay attention to is your guard and center combo right here. It's not pretty because it looks like he gets beat inside, but realistically, Bobo, once he takes his step, if this guy goes inside gap, he should actually be climbing up to this guy. Jared shouldn't. I don't know why Jared decided to go straight off of this and post with his guard, because if he steps correctly into that gap, look where his hat would be on that hat, right? He would be taking him on, but not. He's stressed. Now you've got him blocking nobody. I don't understand why he's not blocking and stepping off right now and taking this hat, and then these two guys posting him to climb here. If they do that, if he steps and takes that hat, now Drew can come off of that to this. Xavier's got this guy. They're in man-to-man right here. They're going cover 1. This safety is coming across the field because he's got lucky man-to-man. He's coming across. So if he climbs up and gets to him and Jared takes the right step and takes this hat, we get this right here. Guys, I want you to see. Now, Trevor Etienne does a hell of a job on his jump cut to get backside. But just think if that's sealed right there. If this guy isn't where he's at right now, he's being blocked by Jared Wilson, cut off by him right here. Look at this. Look at all of this. This should be Trevor Etienne one-on-one with this guy because he should be clear with Lucky. Trust stays on his guy long enough. Man, what a hole. But it's like I said, again, you just got miscommunication between a center and guard not working well together, and that causes us to have to cut backside, and Trevor makes a good run out of this, even though it's dead for the backside. You know, I was heavy on this guy too, but I want to show you Monroe Freeland getting beat just as well as Ernest Green is at left tackle. Ernest Green's not in the game. Here's the same guy here off the edge. I'm not even going to draw this up, but I just want you to watch this pass rush move by this defensive end. The ball is snapped, and pretty much we've got straight up 5-0. Looks like man right here. We're going to get a little X stunt that causes a little pressure to Fairchild. They pick it up pretty well. But Monroe Freeland right here is the one that gets beat. He gets beat on a spin move. It looks like speed. He's finally getting set up outside, but he's got his momentum against him. And once he got his momentum against him, he spins off of it. It's a beautiful pass rush move right here by our quarterback. It ends up becoming a goat roping session after the ball's fumbled, moved around, ends up getting a face mask off the pickup and everything. It just looks like freaking just a fire drill after it's all said and done. But I see a 5-0 look right here. You got 5 man coming. You got 5 to pick up. Cash is gone. All right. Quarterback's got Mike in the middle of the field. I don't really know if he has anybody even to throw to right here, even if that guy doesn't even make a move off of that. But you got to understand, man, our tackle play is just terrible across the board. Trust, believe it or not, it's the one I'm not talking about as much tonight. It was our left side of the line of scrimmage tonight, guys. Monroe Freeland, Ernest Green, didn't matter who we put there, and God knows who we got at guard right now. I mean, Bobo's at guard right now. Tate Rowledge, neither. Michael Morris, none of those guys are in there. Truss is not down. They can't put Green in because of what's been happening to him as well. But you can see here, Fairchild's even getting a little stress off the X stunt. This is completely Monroe Freeland right here. Just a good move by the defensive end on this, and another sack for our quarterback. I don't really have anything to drop on this one either, but we're running slide right protection, or excuse me, slide left protection out of this to throw off play action. And I want you to pay attention real quick to our tight end and our left tackle. We know Ernest Green had a bad game. Everybody was calling for his head by the end of the game, but this is just as much on Oscar Delp as it is anything else, because Dylan has to pull off of this, so he's pulling everybody else's slide left. So he has to post just for a second while his guard is gone to make sure he doesn't shoot that gap so that our center can get all the way across to a guy who's head up on our tackle, a 5, or basically, I guess you would say that's a 4. He's head up over the top of him. He can't let that inside. He's got to let his center get over and help that. But you've got a tight end sitting here as well that's over the top of this. So Ernest Green's got help here, and he thinks he's in good shape with that help that he's got. Now, you may be wondering why we're shooting the F back out and then bringing him back in. That lets us know we've got zone. And you'll know that he's in zone because he would have shot out with him on that motion right there. He didn't go out with him. So that lets Carson Beck know we've got zone. So he's got zone to throw against right here. So he knows before the ball's even snapped that it's not man-to-man. All right. So they send him out on laser motion. He's gone. And you notice the backers just bump. They're in zone off of this. Play action. There's your guard coming across. The front is slide left protection. Look how Jared Wilson's getting all the way across. So Ernest Green gives that guy a bump. Jared's now working with him. And now both of these guys have that edge guy. All right. Delp just lets him go. And Ernest Green can't get there because of his leverage. The only thing that I would say is maybe Ernest get a little more depth. He got some depth, and he still can't. Now, Carson, step up in the pocket, help yourself out just a little bit right here off of this. I know you don't see it coming, but my God, man, this is just terrible by Delp and Ernest Green not being able to get back there. They got this guy double teamed, and we still can't block him. And gets to him and causes the sack. Because honestly, I don't really know where your open receiver is on this, to tell you the truth, because we just don't have time to throw the ball because we're getting the speed rush off the edge. But full speed, got everything set up, step up in the pocket, can't do it, sacked.